Yo, what's good? Welcome to Jasmar's podcast live. Yo, forgive us for not being enthusiastic. You know, some motherfuckers just don't think. But we gonna try not to let that shit affect this recording. You know what I mean? Um, Mick Effany in the building, yo. I'm be up on this podcast. I ain't going to sleep. He finally admitted it. Jasmar's podcast exclusive. Yeah. I'm gonna try to be up, man. Shit. Sometimes I ain't even sleep. I just be so engaged and shit. You know what I mean? And going there, and people just I just want to hear people talk for days. You know what I mean? I'm a listener. You know what I mean? And I give my dialogue when I can. But overall, I should be, I'm on a podcast, it's a different lifestyle for me, you know what I mean? Shit, a year ago, a nigga wasn't doing this shit, I was just listening to my niggas talking, it's different. The latest news in XTV, let me just say, shit, this Cosby Show scene that we've been doing since fucking maybe January. Um, this shit's been tough, it's just really one scene. And, we knew it was gonna be tough. Like, we ain't complaining. It's just that, the ins and outs of it is pretty crazy. You know what I mean? We was just in there working on it, and shit. It's like, it just seemed like every time we finish a big portion of shit, we gotta go back and redo that big portion of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't progress with this shit. We keep going back and fixing shit, and you know what I'm saying? It's like we ain't, the shit's like never complete, but it's gonna be complete. We got 2 days off, looking forward to it. Like, we finna work on this shit like crazy. You know what I'm saying? So our first time having 2 days off since September. Exactly, nigga. You know what I mean? They done cut hours and shit like that. You know. But it is what it is, you know what I mean? Yo, I ain't gonna pretend I ain't pissed off, man. Fuck. Alright, look. Let me just get this out. So as this diet shit, you know what I mean? Every other day we can eat. Uh This shit tough, as you know what I mean? Shit, I ain't never did nothing like this, but we made it a full week. And I don't know if nobody else seeing changes, but I am honestly seeing some changes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, my width, like how wide I was, I feel like I'm a little more, I ain't as wide. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, today was one of them days where shit we couldn't eat, and we just drunk a lot of drinks. You know what I'm saying? Had to work and everything. So come home, go to sleep, wake up. I don't know what the fuck wrong with this, shout out to you, Joe at, but yo, that shit kind of pissed us off. Like, don't leave the food out, nigga. Like, we got roaches and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, why the fuck would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, think, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get that you smoke, whatever, yeah, but let's not make that an excuse, nigga. Like, the fuck is roaches in this fucking apartment? You know that. Why the fuck would you do that shit? You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't want to eat the shit now, nigga. I seen like 3 roaches on the shit. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. And that shit was stupid. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't never did no shit like that. What the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so that shit pissed me off, you know what I mean? And, I'm starving and shit. And, I can't eat the 12, even though you ain't supposed to eat at 12. I'm gonna be up all night anyway working on this shit I've been telling y'all about. But anyway, you know, that's going on. As far as the podcast game, the shit is still big, 90%. Being nominated for a top podcast, shit crazy. Yeah, man. It was a good ass podcast with Flamingo and shit. The old versus new shit. He did a little bit of editing to it where he got creative with it, you know. And that's what I like about the podcast game is making people turn they shit up. You know what I'm saying? It's making people just like, not be basic. It's making people be creative. You know what I'm saying? And doing different things. And that's what's cool about it. To me, I mean, I ain't on that level yet. Yo, we good. No, I ain't saying we ain't good. I'm just saying, like, on as far as the music, like, I tried to put music on the podcast. That shit ain't really worked to me. The 80s got one. You know what I'm saying? And the music just didn't fit to me. It was cool, but, it just didn't fit to me. I don't know how other people think. But, yeah. Now tonight's guest is a person that I don't know. I don't even know how to describe the nigga. You see, we raw nigga. We don't write shit down. Nah, we raw. Just look. He came under his pops. You know what I'm saying? James back in what that was 97. He came under his pops. You know what I'm saying? He was supposed to be the successor to his dad's illustrious career. In some ways he was, but I feel like he never got his big break, his just due. And every time he was that close, there was always something knocking him off. But we have him tonight on Jasmar's podcast, Little 007. What's good? What's going on, man? I'm a lot older now, man. 35. Word. I said, what's good, nigga? This nigga told me his age, his kids. No, I'm good. But yo, you came under your pops, you know what I mean? You had immediate success, because you was under him. And you had your own little show and shit. What was life like at that time? Because I mean, like from what it looked like to my perspective, you was born into fame. And that's exactly what it was, bro. I was just born into it, and the cameras are on me, and I'm just told to act. It was like I was really a kid, playing paintball guns. That's what people don't know. I was playing paintball, bro. Like, and just like shooting random kids and just adding commentary. They were like, just talk. Because my dad always thought I was funny. He always thought I had a funny voice as a little kid. And he's like, oh, just go out here, you know what I mean? Talk and, have them record you. And, it was the best segment on the whole show. And I got a lot of, respect and, applause for my contributions and shit. But, early success was very cool because, I just felt like I always just tried to make my dad happy, you know what I mean? Like my whole life. And I just got a kick out of that, and I'm like, as long as they're happy, you know what I mean? When times started to get rough, you know, like my dad and my mom would be busy, you know what I mean, going around and, and if I didn't see them smiling, seeing the audience smiling, they'll be like, you're doing such a good job. The audience would say that shit. And me, I'll be crying and shit. They're like, why the hell is he crying? And it's because I don't see my dad and mom happy. You know what I mean? That was my true audience. Even though I love my fans, but as a kid, I loved my mom and dad. They were the people I was a fan of. You know what I mean? And so it was cool, but it's just the hard times were hard and the rough times were worse. But early success is always the best success because everybody knows your name and you're all over the place and you're like, what the fuck did I truly do? I was just a little kid that cursed. Exactly like your parents allowing you to curse, man. It's weird, You was like, what? I had to be fucking 4 or 5 years old You know what I mean? Just swearing. You know what I mean? And it's like I think what a lot of people, cause I got a lot. My dad and them got a lot of complaints. Like, how would you, allow your child to curse like that? You know what I mean? Um, and I got a lot of, well, they got a lot of complaints. But the thing is, I said the curse word so wrong, and it was so funny how it came out that that's what people liked, and you know what I mean. It was still, that was still the taboo ass '90s. You know what I mean? Like it was like, fuck it, balls to the wall, just be free. Um, and that's what I was. And that's what my dad was. He was shooting people on the damn game. They're not complaining about that. They're complaining about this little kid who, is playing paintball. They thought I was killing kids for real, but it was just paintball, you know. And like they got a lot of complaints. Like on my dad's side, I know he was on your podcast, but I'm not sure how he dealt with that. You know what I mean? All these complaints, and you're trying to maintain a good relationship with my mom, and everything like that. But for me, it was cool. I mean, you was like all over. It was like instant fame. You on XTV magazine next to dude and shit. And the thing is, bro, I didn't really get a chance to grow up, really. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it was like I'm born and I'm here. You know what I mean? Like I was an innocent child just playing. You know what I mean? And the cameras were on me, and they were always on me, and I was just being myself, and I didn't see what the big deal was. I'm like, I'm just being myself. What's so funny? Like I didn't get it. It isn't to now where I look at those embarrassing ass tapes, and I see what it is, and I'm a fan of Little Me. Yo, word. But it was just a trip. So going into it, I mean, they just put you out there and that's it. Yeah, just put me out there, in the field like I'm trying to remember how the setting looked. It was like a fucking it was kind of like a construction site, you know, and it was like I was on top of this big ass metal thing, you know what I mean? It's like 15 feet in the air, you know. That's some nigga. That's child abuse. 15 feet in the air, a bunch of little kids. Yeah, but it was like it was almost like a playpen though. Like it looked crazy as fuck, but it was like it was built like if we fell, we wouldn't fall on like some hard concrete. It'd be like cushion. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like it wasn't as crazy as it sounds, but that's what it was. We gave you the illusion that these are a bunch of little kids, shooting each other off of some big ass scaffolding, and it was an illusion on TV because you seen us on TV. That's why my dad got so many complaints, because on TV it looked like, you know, this shit's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But on the actual program, I'm stuttering like a motherfucker. Word. But see, forgive us, fans. Damn it, this is tough. It wasn't like how it looked. All right, we got you. So, yeah, and I mean, like, that shit lasted a minute. Like, how long would you say that lasted? The That show lasted from fucking 97 to maybe 99 when the N64 incident happened. You know, it was crazy though. It was great, and I was all over. And to me, my favorite like thing that I did, cause not that GoldenEye was a bad time. Like I just felt like the next thing, 006 with the dogs was the shit, because you know I wasn't really doing what I wanted to do when I was doing my dad's show. I was just being myself. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't truly doing what I wanted to do. Like they just put it, like I said, they put a camera on me, put me in this playpen that looked crazy as hell with a bunch of different kids that I had to interact with and be entertaining. You know what I mean? But I wasn't being entertaining. I was just being me, and they liked it for whatever reason. You know that I didn't understand. But what I did love was pissing off my uncle. Word. Yeah, you know, like he's just one of those relatives. You just love to see how mad he gets, you know. And so they said, oh, we're going to put him on 006 with the dogs. And I just remember, you know, like that's what Alec did, 006 with the dogs. And I would annoy the fuck out of him, you know what I mean? And he'll just be, boy, you know what I mean? And I just used to fuck with him. And that was like, that those were my best moments, you know what I mean, as a kid, because I got to piss him off. And I don't know why I liked pissing him off. You know, I just did. Like, how did he react to that? Did he ever beat your ass? You take him round the fucking back and beat his ass with an extension cord? Mac Anthony had a rough childhood. Go ahead, though, man. I mean, how was that little 007, like, you know, dealing with that shit? I mean, no. How did he feel? Uh, Bro, sometimes he was so angry. You know what I mean? Because I think my Sally, you know, I think she spoke on it. Like sometimes, you know, Al will be dealing with a whole lot. You know, Sable and shit. He'll be on drugs, and Ginger and all the different puppies, and you know, getting bit by one of those dogs on set and stuff like that. You know, and then now you got an annoying 5-year-old that knows way more curse words than he does anything else. You know what I mean? That's gonna piss you off. And that's just what I did. I was that, you know, annoying comic relief, you know what I mean, for his displeasure, but for the audience pleasure. And that's what that was. And I think that's what, you know, the Blue what the dogs did best is it took something, you know what I mean, like really nothing, you know what I mean? Because it's like Alec wasn't really doing nothing. There wasn't no real concept, you know what I mean, that really told the story. It was just all these different things were happening, and sometimes out of all these different things, a story would develop, you know, and that's what was very unique about it. And nobody really gives that show a lot of praise, you know what I'm saying, as much as it deserves. Because when it was going on, bro, it was going on. You know, when he would do that music and we'll be in the backyard, like shit, you know, the energy levels would just, you know, build up. You know what I mean? Same thing with the Cosby Show. And, you know, going into that, Jazz, I heard what you were saying. Bro, I was there on set, you know, where, and I seen what you guys are dealing with. You know, this Cosby Show is crazy. It's just, yo, it's just like, seriously, man, like to me, like the most hardest thing I ever did, like we ever did, like period. You know what I mean? Harder than Jungle Fever, yeah, we did it. Harder than Tales, harder than all the different shit we ever had to deal with. And I don't say hard as in it's impossible to complete. I say hard because it's like, you know, finishing so much shit and then going back. It's like, damn, you know what I mean? Because you think that you done and it's good and it's perfect. And you like, okay, good. We ain't got to worry about that. Then you like, how the fuck? Let me just say, I want to kick Wells in the ass. Oh, shit. Like, yo, let me do it. Jasmar's podcast. It ain't the same with you. But nah, I want to kick Wells in the ass. Like, yo, you fat fucker, stay still. Whoa. I'm sorry, dude. Like I said, y'all don't know what's going on. Y'all gonna know when we upload this shit and it's done. But Will's fat ass need to stay still, alright? And just sit on the damn little mantle or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be. Just stop moving. Go ahead, little 007. Wait, what was my question? Let me get my files. Yo, this shit crazy. I don't like him. Now, anyway. So 006 with the dog successful. I mean, you already 2 shows in and you just started in 97. Like, was you able to, you know, use the rewards from the money? Did I say that right? I think I did. But was you able to, you know what I mean, celebrate and go out there and buy things other kids couldn't buy, and be white privileged. You stupid, Jazz. Of course, bro. Of course. You know what I mean? He said, of course, of course, damn right. But I just that shit was crazy, bro. I remember my dad. I think it was like '05, like these dirt bikes. For little kids though, like they came out. You know what I mean? And like '05, I forget what the shit was called, but I was the only one with that shit on my block. And my dad, like what people don't know is he would purposely move to low income neighborhoods. You know, this is gonna be a bit of a shoot on him. Oh shit. Yo, let me do my tag. Jasmar's podcast exclusive. My dad was a dick though, bro. Like he would purposely move in the poorest, communities. You know what I mean? Just so, I could ride like my expensive dirt bike around. You know what I mean? And just like kind of like, taunt and shit. You know what I mean? And I remember one time he just was on this big ass what do you call the things that the police use? The horn, the whatever the fuck. He was using that thing. And he's like, yeah, I know I'm the richest person in the neighborhood. Look at it, look at it, And he'll just be doing shit like that, taunting these low income people. And the worst one was when we went to India, bro. And he just like gave like we had all these expensive ass things, and he's just walking around, with the same thing. Oh, I'm this, I'm great, and as a kid, I'm just a child, bro. I don't really get it. I don't know what racism is. I don't know what classism is. But looking back and seeing that I dealt with that from him, you know what I mean? Like it was like it made me question myself. Like, damn, was my dad a good role model? All I wanted to do was make him happy. You know what I'm saying? And I used to copy off of him, just say what he was saying, and people would laugh, but not the unfortunate people. You know what I mean? And he was like, I remember one time, speaking of that trip to India, because it's not even like we took trips to, different countries to help people. He did that to degrade people. You know what I mean? And we would go there, and I remember one time I met this girl out there. This little girl. She was like the same age I was, like maybe 10. Oh no, 8. Or something like that. And I remember just talking with her, and she spoke little English, very little. And she was just like, I'm so hungry, bro. I'm so hungry. She said, bro, no. But she's like, I'm so hungry. And I'm like, I begged my dad. I'm like, Dad, can we like give this girl like something to eat? You know what I mean? Her family's hasn't eaten in like a week, and her grandma just passed. Because she didn't eat. So it's like he goes, oh, don't worry, she'll die. And then she'll be over it, and her spirit will be free. He says some shit like that. You know what I mean? And that's when I started to notice though. You know what I'm saying? But then again, it's like, my mom putting those morals in my mouth, in my mind. Oh, mind your father, mind your father. You know. And I just thought that that's what I was supposed to do in order to, show him that I loved him or be a good son. You know what I mean? And I think that just starting to see that, starting to grow up and stuff like that, because people don't know, but in 1998, I went from 6 to 13. Word. Exactly. Not many kids not nobody gonna experience that. Let me just say that. Exactly, bro. It's just super duper's creativity. Let's not question it. But basically, once I turned 13 though, out of nowhere, I just I started to like really realize stuff. You know what I mean? I started to mature really fast because that incident that really made me think. You know what I mean? Even though my mom's telling me mind my father, whatever. It's like it made me think like, dude, do I want to be that way? You know what I mean? Somebody I met, she was kind to me. She spoke little English, but was still a friend. You know what I'm saying? And like, bro, I don't know if she's dead or alive now. It was like 1998. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, do I want to be that way? And I try my best to never be that way. And that's why I was on such a self-destructive path, from that point on. That's why they were like, little 007's always at these drunk parties. He's always drinking. You know what I'm saying? Because, bro, like, I'm like, I don't want to be him. And, I got into substance, bro. Like, I'm like, shit, I don't want to be a rich piece of shit. I want to relate to the struggle. And my way of relating to the struggle, because I never been through the struggle, I was born into fame. You know what I mean? So my only thinking of how to relate to the struggle was drinking. You know what I mean? Was doing drugs, because, that's what my dad would say. Oh, they're all on drugs. They're all that. You know what I mean? And, I wanted to understand them. And, I took it the wrong way. I was a kid, and that led to a lot of bad, different, bizarre, and crazy nights. You know what I'm saying? Some nights I'm still surprised I've passed and lived through. Yeah, man, because I remember reading about that shit. Well, my mom's, she was reading about it. I was still a little kid. You know what I mean? My mom's reading, yo, that white boy's son always getting arrested for DUIs. Yeah, yeah. All this different shit. And the thing about it is like, nobody in my dad's whole family has ever been through something like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what made it crazy. I was like, it's like you come from a family of rich, you know what I mean, blue collar people or whatever you want to call it. You come from that, and then you got the son that's now like kind of tarnishing their name. You know what I mean? And that's when my dad really couldn't stand me, because a lot of people don't know, but I think when GoldenEye came back for a second season, I was supposed to be on it, but my dad resented me because I was getting arrested for DUIs. You know what I mean? Drunk driving, all these different things. And I'm just a teenager. You know what I mean? And he's in the press for, first, oh, it's your fault because you allowed him to shoot these kids on this show. They still think that shit was real. You know what I mean? That was just a year ago. And so, he's getting blamed for all this, and he wants no association with me. And that shit was even more harder because, like I said, I always wanted to make him happy. I always wanted to make him proud. Now I didn't have him, you know, and I didn't want him anyway because of how he treated that girl that I was friends with, you know, and that's when the downward spiral really started. But it didn't kick in high gear until, of course, later on. Yeah, before we get to that, I wanted to just talk about them shits because it was always like little 007 is at a drunk party. Like, that's what I wanted to touch on. What the fuck was a drunk party? Just what it sounds like, bro. Like a fucking big ass swimming pool. This is before Kendrick. Full of beer, bro. Like full of random beer. You know what I'm saying? We'll just fill the shit up. Because I was still rich, you know what I mean? And living off of the success of my past show and shit like that. So we getting every kind of beer, bro. You name it. Jack Adams. All those other different things, bro. Mr. Brownstone. That's heroin, nigga. And all these other different things and just putting it all in a pool. You know what I mean? Emptying the water out. And just, it's a pool full of all kinds of different beer. And everybody's jumping in it. And everybody's swimming in it. Drinking it. You know what I'm saying? And it sounds like a crazy ass party. And believe me, it was. I'm talking, dude. You start the party with 10 people you already know. Wake up with 100 motherfuckers you don't even know. You know what I mean? And you're sleeping on a damn fat guy's bare ass. You know what I'm saying? Who smells like shit. And you're like, what the fuck happened last night? Am I gay? You know what I mean? Word. And it's like, what the hell's going on? Because like it was nights like that. Because I would just drink and black out. You know what I mean? And not remember nothing. Like, and I just wake up into these different traps, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? Are you gay, nigga? Like, hold on. Well, let's not pretend that you just, you know what I'm saying? No, bro, no. We definitely, nah, it wasn't like that. I was just drunk, and I looked for a pillow, and I guess I thought his ass was a pillow. You gay, nigga. True colors come out when you drunk, nigga. Shut up, bro. But anyway, moving forward, uh, you wasn't able to secure that second position. Second position. Life is crazy. You wasn't able to secure that second spot with your dad on Goldeneye. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't want you on the show no more. But you did eventually go to SIDE, which your dad would later be a part of. Um, what was that like? Well, this was still doing my drunken chaos. You know what I mean? That the media once celebrated, then deemed me for. But it is what it is. Going into SIDE was different because it gave me a chance to show who I was. You know what I mean? And really put my identity out there. Because to me, SIDE was that thing. You know what I mean? It made or broke you. And it was the big thing though. It was like the major thing as far as XTV and what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And that was crazy because I just showed up, and I was a young kid, in shape, and I was a George wrestler that people liked a lot. Yeah, what people don't know is you was a George wrestler and you fought in the main event on a lot of occasions. Exactly. Like, I think artists said that if you fought in the draws, you fought first or something like that, which is true. But you was actually the first one to main event. You know what I mean? People say it's Lex Express, but no, that nigga wasn't. It was you. You know what I mean? I think what made them want me to main event is cause of all the controversy, that I was surrounded in, the drunk parties and all these other different things that was going on. It's the controversy of having James, this rich, impoverished. Did I say impoverished? This rich guy, you know what I'm saying, with all these different things going on. And give me 1 second. This rich guy going to impoverished communities, excuse me, and demeaning them by his riches. You know what I mean? Like that's who he was. You know what I mean? He's this big rich guy, this bitch, big rich. He called him a bitch. This big rich figure. You know what I'm saying? That's like always putting down poor people, and he's so rich, everybody sucks. I'm great. I'm great. Now he has this drunk son, and if he associates with him, that's bringing his value down, and people loving him. You know what I mean, or whatever. My dad was a dick, bro. Like, I heard his podcast, and he tries to give off this image of I'm a changed man. XTV, please accept me again. But bro, nobody's ever gonna accept him. What he did was very wrong. Even though we haven't jumped into it yet, but it's just, man, I just don't like to hear his voice anymore. Like, we really don't get along. Don't diss your daddy. Don't diss your daddy. What is he talking about? Yo, Jasmar hit like 12 months before we did this shit. Oh, okay. But anyway, so you win SIDE. Was it immediate main event? Nah, bro. I actually fought in the first match. With Lex Express, and they really liked how I was in the ring, and they just said, like, come on, all this controversy is going on, and they made me main event with Flamingo, and we fought in the first ever and only lawnmower match, and the match itself was amazing. One of the best matches in SIDE history to date. Like, there's no other match that was that good. And the concept was crazy. It was just like, because I remember when they pitched the idea to us, they're like, yeah, it's just going to be a lawnmower and you guys work around it, And I'm like, well, a lawnmower? And I'm like, how the fuck are we going to make a lawnmower entertaining? And they're like, dude, they've had ladder matches where they made the ladder entertaining or whatever the fuck, You guys find a way to make a lawnmower exciting. And surprisingly, we made that shit work very good. You know what I mean? How was it working with 90? Like, did he have his big ego or whatever? Dude, I hope I don't get jumped for saying this. Oh, shit. he was just so ghetto, bro. Like straight up, like on a whole different level. I mean, you know, they were like, I remember I was walking in the hallway, you know what I'm saying? And Galen's like, who you going against, Flamindo? That old drunk ass cracker right there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, dude, it's like that. He's like, hell yeah, it's like that. Take your honk ass on. You know what I mean? And he was just like, you know, how that racist kind of ghetto. And I'm like, how, bro? But that's just how he was. You know what I mean? And eventually, shit, we had our match, and it was a classic. And I started main eventing from that point on, and I think that put me in a new light. And later on, my dad came onto the scene. You know what I mean? And he came to SIDE, and I'm thinking he's coming here to reconcile with me or something. But no, he's like, I want to fight you so bad, you know. But our arguments backstage were so intense, where the president of the company has to get involved. This person has to get involved. You know, Flamindo is breaking us up. And it would just get like that. Like we couldn't stand one another. You know, I detested him. He detested me. Hold on a second. Yeah, bro. That's just how it was. And we got into a big knockout, drag out fight a few times. You know what I mean? Because still, I was that, you know, reckless, you know, kid. So was the SIDE locker room like just they just let you do what you do, Jack Tunney and them? They just let you, you know, be that, and they didn't worry about it? No, they didn't. They let me just be me. That like they understood that I was young. You know, they lived off the controversy, so they wasn't going to release me because I'm getting into car crashes and shit. Like that wasn't bad for business to them. That was good for publicity. You know, even if I died, they would still like, you know, run a story about me dying and, you know, have Flamingo piss on my grave or some shit, because that's just how ruthless they were. They were just really all out to make a dollar or to make some type of controversy, to make some change or whatever it was, you know. And my whole lifestyle was crazy enough because of the publicity I would get and the publicity they would get, you know what I mean, going through all the different things I went through. And it was just best for business that I was a drunk dude that was fucked up and being successful. Word. So SIDE goes on. You won a championship against Lamindo in that lawnmower match, right? Yeah, and I couldn't have been prouder. You know, I really couldn't have been prouder. Like I was happy that I won something, because you gotta understand, I went from 6 to 13, and you know what I mean. I'm winning a championship, and like it's the first ever thing I truly won. You know what I mean? The first ever time I got something and won it for myself, and not something like a toy my dad gave me. I won an actual championship that was prestigious and meant something, because it had all these different great people that held it over these years, and it was something nobody had to help me do. I did it myself, so it meant a whole lot, you know. But on the flip side, kind of like going what to best what he was saying on his podcast, is like not having family to celebrate that moment with is, you know, it's kind of funny. You know, my mom called me and she was very proud of me, but she's like, your dad's still very mad, but and he's very much sad troughing now. And you know, that made my dad hate me even more, because he was like, and he was always in the press, oh, you got my drunk son as the champion. And I think he left a little after that, you know, because he was like, how in the hell does he get a belt? But I won, you know what I mean? That's true, that's true. And you know, athletically, even though you say you was drinking and shit, you was good. I mean, you was technical, you know what I'm saying? And you kept it like that. Like how did you get that good, you know what I'm saying? Well, SIDE has a training camp, SIDEVW. You know what I mean? And that's where you go when you're trying to, get into business and stuff like that. And they train you. And I had a great trainer. You know what I mean? I had Billy Banks. He was great. And he used to he'll put you in a hold for hours until you get it. And it was very tough. And it took a whole lot, you know what I mean, for me to finally like get right with it. But yeah, just training under him and being in that environment eventually got me very good. And I had fun, you know what I mean? Until SIDE, of course, closed its doors. But the doors for Little 007 with the dogs kick in. And that sprung new life to my career. Yeah, I mean, you would think you being a drunk and all this different shit going on, you would eventually, people won't pick you for roles because you ain't reliable. You always getting arrested, but people still picking you. You that it dude. Yeah, I'm just the it guy, bro. I'm just the guy that's on it. You know what I mean? And I'm young, so it looks like I got this future of like, this is the new standard and shit like that. It's just different, and it's hardcore. It's in your face and it's unapologetic. And that's what people liked about it. You know what I mean? And let me just tell you, on that run, it was very good. But dude, the brakes crashed once my good friend died. You know what I mean? Brian Clark, drunk man. You know what I mean? When he was in SIDE, dude, he was like my best friend. You know what I'm saying? Drinking buddies like crazy. And when he died from alcoholism, like it wasn't even like I was like, I'm sad and I'm never gonna drink again. It was like, shit, one for you. You know what I'm saying? It just really fucked with me though, because that's the first real death I ever dealt with. I was just born and pushed into this business. Now I find a great friend, you know what I mean, who just died of a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? And he was my age now, 35. You know, so that really fucked me up for a very long time, and the rails went off very quickly, like super fast. But the Sable and Ginger show was a success. But I think that although that show was successful, 006 with the dogs just became so much better where that was the main show. And no longer did I truly matter. And as a result, I got the shaft. How was it working with Sable and Ginger? Sally was saying on Mill's podcast, that shit, them dogs was on drugs and all kind of shit. Did you see any of that? Dude, I think that Alec and James, bro, I think they used to abuse him. Oh shit, Jasmar's podcast. Seriously, bro, like, and even Sally, bro, like I listen to her podcast, but she'll say she really loved the dogs and all that. Well, why didn't you take them to the vet? Why didn't you go out your way to take them to the vet when they needed shots and all this? Why didn't you do that? You see these dogs are, messed up, and then you guys want to say, oh, they were really poor, but how were you guys rich, but those dogs still suffered like that? You know what I mean? It was only so much I could do. I'm going through all this different stuff, but bro, like if they truly cared and they were that hands on with the dogs, they would do different things besides feed them a bone if they're good. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I felt. But Sable did have a bit of an attitude a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? I remember I had this one scene where I had to just grab him on the tail and say ha 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 or whatever the fuck, and he said, rah, 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 man, get your bitch ass off me, dirty ass hands, and that just scared the daylights out of me, and he comes back and starts looking at me. He's like, look, bro, I'm sorry, I just be going through a whole lot of shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I won't be feeling like doing this show. You know what I mean? And it's just little things like that. Like he definitely was suffering. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure he had a wild background. Ginger as well. She had a horrible story. But it was great working with them, when the attitudes weren't on level 100. You know what I'm saying? You just had to know how to deal with them. Because, like I said, anytime you're dealing with somebody that's damaged, you know what I mean? You don't know what wrong buttons there are to push. You don't know where to not touch them. You know what I mean? But sometimes when you touch them, you're like, I'll never touch it again. And, I understand that pain because that's what I am. That's what I became. You know what I'm saying? Because, bro, like, going from up here, fame, to way down is a big difference, especially when you were born to this much fame. Now you're dealing with reality. You're nobody. You're working at Target. You know what I'm saying? That's your first job on your way back up. And like you never deal with that before. It's a complete culture shock. And mentally it's straining, and a lot of different things are going on that you just truly don't understand. And you get involved in certain controversies that are just unwanted. And Jasmar, you already know what I'm going to talk about. Hold on. Before we jump way ahead, like, let's keep it going. Yeah, it's cool, bro. I mean, shit, we might need to just touch on it. Yo, exactly. I mean, this is a controversy that ain't never talked about in the history of XTV. That's why we got Jasmar's podcast. Boom! You had to spit on the fucking mic, Mac Anthony? Nah, man, you had to spit on the fucking mic. Was that important? That boom was that important that you got a whole bunch of slob on my shit? You feel good about that boom? Yo, it was cool. Fuck your booms. Anyway, so your dad's still successful. I mean, you say you rose from way up here to way down here. Where would you say the down here started? Definitely in 2001. You know what I mean? Um, definitely, it was '01. Because my dad's show wasn't doing good. And he eventually had to go to GTA and find new success with that. Me, on the other hand, he didn't give me a shot. I wasn't able to do nothing. He even got a new son. You know what I'm saying? And everything. Like, they had a new kid. And we went to court in '01. And, he denounced me as his son, bro. Like, straight up. And I was no longer legally, I'm not his son. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's how much he didn't like all the different things I was getting into. You know what I mean? And he called me fucking, what's his name? Sid Spungett or whatever from the Sex Pistols. Sid. He was calling me him, just a reckless, is just going to overdose and kill yourself one day. And, bro, I still got some of the voicemails, and they're just chilling to listen to. Him just, almost growling at me, how he's yelling, of how I'm just nothing and I'm nobody, you know. And by 2002, you better have your damn act together. You listen to him, Little Double O. That's how my mom talks. She chimes in. And, that's just how it was. And, that shit would really fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Fuck with me so bad that I pick up a Bible and I don't really know how to fully read it because I was just born into this business, so I get a bottle and drink. Word. So, '01 was your down period. Big drop off. Friends that were your friends are gone. You know what I mean? You wind up having a party. You invite 5 people. Most of your shit's gone, and those 5 people are gone. You know what I'm saying? And you see 100 other people that you didn't even allow to your house. And most of your shit's gone. And you're trying to kick them out, and they're laughing at you. Oh, look, he's drunk again. Look, a falling star. Look at him. He's imploding from within, joking on me and shit like that. That's when rock bottom starts to hit. And your dad's no longer paying on the house. You don't really know about bills and shit like that because you never really learned. And as a result, your house that you're in foreclosed on. You know what I'm saying? Those friends that you were with, they're gone. All these different things are happening. And as a result, you drink some more. You know what I mean? And from drinking, you go to a bum. You know what I'm saying? Sniffing through beer bottles like, is this piss? Nope. Is this piss? Oh, oh, here's some beer. You know, that's how I lived. You know what I mean? I would drink before I wanted a cheeseburger. I was one of those guys that said, if if I was really homeless, I would not ask you for food. I'll ask you for beer. Those stupid ass signs that it's like, bro, you're not homeless. You're funny. You know what I mean? And I had those type of signs, and yeah, yeah, that's crazy, man. I mean, that show you the highest of highs to the lowest of low. You know, and what did you do on that time? I just bummed out. You know, I became unrecognizable. You know what I'm saying? And everything that I had didn't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? Getting all my items repossessed, my SIDE belt that I won, all these different things, just seeing all the stuff that I had just go into flames, you know, that fast. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm nobody. You know, and I'm like, bro, I didn't want to be my dad. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely don't want to be this. And CAW comes into the picture. And I'm like, maybe this is my opportunity. You know, and I fought Shotgun Bart in the first match, and that was crazy. First match in CAW history. Y'all fought in the cage match. The shit was crazy. You got stuck on the fence and you fell on the ladder head first. How the hell are you living? Well, first off, I don't know. That was a botch. You know what I mean? Shotgun Bart was supposed to catch me, but I think he slipped or something, and he wasn't able to catch me, and I fell back, hanging on a damn cage from my leg, and I'm upside down. The ladder's right there, and that shit, I just fell down. The fence falls down, and my head falls down on the ladder, and shit, and that shit fucking hurt. And the fans went CAW, CAW. They were crazy, you know. And as far as the hardcore shit, I was definitely accepted. You know what I mean? As far as that. But CAW got better and athletes got better, and it became a flooded market when you had your Moonsault kids, Big Trunks, Pain, what's his name, RVD, Luke, fucking all the different people, dude. You remember Monster, Too Hot, Flamindo came back. All these different people are in this market, and all these different people are crowded. It's crazy, and you know people don't know what the hell's going on, and it's all these different things, and I got lost in the shuffle. So I'm back to ground zero. You know what I'm saying? And Dixie didn't give me my last check, bitch. Word. But things did change again. Yeah. 2003 starts a era where you went to high school with Dixie and Ashley, and one of the earliest controversial things as far as post sides era, I should say. You know what I'm saying? They said you got into it with Dixie and you raped Dixie. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that was crazy ass news. I remember hearing that shit. I'm like, yo, that nigga ain't raped that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Yo, chill. That bitch be putting roots on people, nigga. Oh, yeah. That beautiful woman. Yeah, me and Dixie would go out for some time. Word. Go to a motel. Then we banged. Following that, we'll go to a wedding. Then we banged. And different things like that. That's Todd shit. But like how did y'all meet? You know what I'm saying? You and Dixie. Dixie was tired of that hell yeah shit. You know, she was tired of Pain mainly. She loved D-Matic. You know what I mean? I always spoke highly of him. But she was just tired of that. You know what I'm saying? She was tired of SID, that whole side shit. So she wanted something new. So she seen me, and this is when I started to get into my goth phase, and I used to wear the dark hair, the nice suit, but the pants with the chains and shit. And she liked it. She liked my look. She thought it was unique, and she fell in love with me. And she just was like, "Oh my God, you're super cool," and we just talked about music and all these other different things, and we got similar backgrounds because we both were kind of born into this business. You know what I'm saying? And just thrown in it. And certain things she spoke on, I just really related to, and I was like, dude, I feel that way, And I'll say about 3 days later, we were not never seen without each other. We were always together. You know what I'm saying? Dixie and Little 007. Like, what kind of romance is this? And we also both were suffering from, certain substance abuse, except, she didn't drink or do drugs like that. When she drank though. You know what I'm saying? That's evident on that one F and K episode. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with me, is when I would get drunk, I would get drunk, and shit. I guess we got drunk off our asses. I don't remember. I just remember Dixie being gone and the cops being there early that morning. You know what I'm saying? And Ashley saying that I raped Dixie, and Dixie saying, yeah, I raped her. All these other different things going on, and it was big controversy, but like that really put me in a negative light. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody loved Dixie, and they still do, but at the time it was just like crazy. She refused to get tested. You know what I'm saying? And all these other different things. It was just weird, And like I already had the reputation for this, bad motherfucker or whatever the fuck. And now that was even worse because she was still the popular princess of TXG. How could you do this to her? You're an asshole. Fuck you. And people would really go out their way to try to fuck me up. I remember being on Fletcher. You know what I'm saying? Just driving my car around, and there's this blue Lincoln Continental like right behind me. And I'm driving, and I go from Fletcher all the way to, where did I go? Valrico. And this fucking guy is following me way up here, you know what I mean? And I finally just stopped because I've been noticed him, but I'm like, nah, dude, this is weird. And I stop, and he comes out the car, and he gets this beer bottle, and he just throws it at my fucking windshield. You know what I'm saying? You fucking bitch. Fucking rapist. And he leaves, skeets off. His girl comes out the car. She's slashing my tires and shit. I'm a bloody pulp with all the glass and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Cops come in, tell me to give a description, and yeah, times became very, very, very bad. But I tried to clean up my act. And it worked for a while. What made you finally decide that you need to clean it? All the different things I would get into, and of course the story of the '80s guy truly inspired me. That was the WWE exclusive. That was like a movie he did about his life, and that shit inspired me, and it inspired a whole lot of people. A lot of people don't know that, but that shit inspired me to get clean. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, I'm not the only one, because I kind of felt sorry for myself and felt like I was the only one going through what I was going through. You know what I mean? I'm the only one that was born into fame and didn't know how to deal with it, then lost it. Now I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to deal with life. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have to continue going on not knowing. I gotta learn, and I gotta get right. And I seen that this same shit that I was using was killing my friends, and it caused all this shit to be even worse than it was. And me realizing that, I got clean. I went to rehab, and it took a lot, dude. I remember throwing up like every single day, and my doctor or whatever, She was just like, just look at that as you're throwing up all that pain you've been dealing with your whole life. And that's just all it was. All that substance, all that stuff I was destroying myself with, that's it coming out. You know what I mean? Those are the demons coming out. They're gone. And like I said, it took a long time, for me to get right, but I did it. You know what I'm saying? And '07 I came back and damn, weird shit. Like, you got back in touch with your pops. Vice City came back. It's just weird, nigga. Like, I don't know what to say. I mean, it definitely has a legacy now, though, more than ever. Especially that one episode, the damn, what's it called? Vice City's 80s on crack. Especially that episode. But you back with your pops. Was the family good again? I mean, what was going on? Well, my dad was happy that I was clean, you know what I mean? But he had this racist gimmick, you know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to get back into something. I wanted to do something. And, I just jumped at the first thing I seen and, tried to follow my dad's lead. And, it was just very bizarre because those weren't really my thoughts. Again, I'm trying to make my dad happy, you know what I mean? Make the family happy. And that's just what it was, but we still had a lot of funny moments on that shit. That's just like, dude, for real, man. Like, let me just say that, man, this gonna be one of them recordings that's just timeless. I mean, 80s on crack, that is. How just involved everybody is around that time. Killer, Little 007, Wells, everybody is there, you know what I'm saying? And it's just so picture perfect, you know. And living through that shit, like, I didn't think about it. It was just business as usual, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't until we listened back and we're like, dude, this is a classic, you know what I'm saying? And from there, that's when I couldn't take it, dude. I couldn't take doing a racist shit because it wasn't me. You know what I mean? It was completely beneath who I was. So I went against the grain and said, I'm going to do my own Vice City. And that shit got canceled fast as fuck. Word. Early 2008, I announce it. Then the show starts. It was a disaster from the beginning. From the production fucking up to this guy, a camera fell on his leg, he's fucked up. All these different things pointed to this shit's not supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't happen. But I did get back in the ring and I was a part of the era of the athletes, which was another crazy ass time. You know what I'm saying? Athletic wise in XTV. Like, how was it being a part of that? Very great, bro. Like, working with Millennium. Oh man, working with Yaki. You know what I'm saying? All these different people. It was a very fun time to be a part of XTV. In ring competition as far as that. And I just wish that we would get the game back. Like, I would know. I would like to know if I'm still good enough. You know. So how are you with sobriety though? Sorry for laughing at you. Sobriety, I'm great. You know what I mean. I've been put that aside. No more drugs. No more none of that. And I'm pretty good now. I'm definitely on a great journey, a spiritual journey, a mental journey, and I do yoga. You know what I mean? And pass out smoothies for samples. So yeah, man, you had a crazy legacy, little 007. Sorry to stop it at '08, but I mean, like, I don't think you've been on the radar like that. Like, what you been really doing? I've really been a motivational speaker, and just talking about the dangers of drugs and, telling some aspects of my story that I've shared here and telling different people about, just telling people you don't have to go that route. What I had lack of during that era when I was coming up is lack of people telling me the dangers of drugs. I was more so having people telling me, go, good, you know what I mean? That's controversy, that's selling, you're doing a great job. That's more so what I had. I didn't have a lot of people talking to me, telling me you know what I mean, this was wrong. They were just like, this is ratings. And, you know, when so many people die over the years, you don't want nobody else to die from this shit. So you're like, you're constantly, you know, telling people, like, yeah, you know, you don't have to be that person. You don't have to be Brian Clark. You don't have to be all these other people that's passed due to substance abuse because they didn't know how to deal with how they truly felt. And I'm just definitely an advocate of that. And that's just how it is. And living a lean, healthy lifestyle. I'm definitely proud of my uncle 006. I know I did a shoot on him or whatever, but it's just that, you know, like, I really like the 006 app and all that. I just feel like, you know, going back to the dogs, they should have been, you know, better taken care of. But that's just really it. Um, but yeah, bro. Well, we did another one. Yo, we did an hour and 5 seconds, minutes. Mac Anthony. Ooh, hour and 5 minutes, man. We on the podcast. It be shooting like a bitch, like a gag. Any future plans, little 007? Just to continue doing this motivational speaking, you know, and hopefully I can do something on YouTube and, you know, influence people not to go that route. Quote the little 007. Nevermore. Jasmar's podcast and another one. Peace.